First, let me greet everyone here present, especially the dean of the school. And let me sincerely apologize to the dean and everyone here present. I understand the busy travel. This lecture was fixed for last Saturday, but last Saturday, my party also fixed that we have our world congresses. Initially, I thought it was going to be a congress we would do in a few hours, and I'll come down and deliver this paper in the afternoon. But a few days with time, I realized that that might be quite difficult, so we pleaded that it will be shifted to today. So I apologize to the dean, to the school, and everyone here present. On that note, let me recognize the dean, let me also recognize my father, my elder, Uncle Sam. Yes. He likes to sit quietly, and he's sitting quietly there. Let me also recognize the very top officials from Delta States and everyone here present, including gentlemen press. I want to thank this university, like the VC said, it's a brand new university, and it's a private university. And being a governor of a state and running a university, I know the difficulty in running a university. So for anyone or some people who have come together to start a university, you must have a very large heart, a very big heart. I hate using the word big heart. You know, Delta used to be big heart. But as a medical doctor, I know that when you say somebody has a big heart, that means it's sick. But the big heart of the university is not about illness, but it's about having courage to start a university. And I want to wish all of you well. Thank the dean, especially of this school. I want to thank all of you. I do hope that this school will be in the forefront of producing the needed manpower in various aspects of management of Nigeria, and in particular in the media. Whatever support we can give to ensure that school grows. Having said that, let me start with a story. And I told the person who told me this story that I should tell you, so not embarrass him, but as part of our experiences. You know, in Nigeria today, there are three institutions in governance. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. When the military come, as they used to come, or will never come again, we have the executive and the judiciary remaining. But the legislature is always the arm that is dislodged. And so, when you've been in government for some time, you will realize that the legislative arm of government do not have people that are well developed to meet the aspirations of governance. And when I came in 2007, one of the areas I thought I should improve on their competence is legislative arm. So we designed programs to build our legislators. One of the programs we designed was for them to go to the UK to have some legislative experience. And so we sent a group of our legislators to the UK. A reporter called, I think the speaker or somebody, how much did it cost the state government to send these people to the UK? The response he got, I hear he was not satisfied with the response. Because sometimes when a person asks questions and you make a response, there are two aspects of the response, or the responses. One is the spoken word, and you have to follow it with something else. Apparently, there was no follow-up on the something else. Because he had mentioned a figure, and this is what people spent, and the guy said no, and it's not true. And so, because there was no second part of it, he went and published, and the state government has spent 400 million in sending legislators to the UK. Many Deltans were angry, and justifiably so. One was so angry, he was a professor in Lagos University, that he wrote a features article in The Guardian. Of course, that article was to blast the state government for wasting 400 million on sending legislators to the UK. And there's something about Zig that I always remember. Zig says, you must respond to every misinformation in the media. No matter how small it is, you must respond to it. Either you correct it, one way or the other, you must respond to it. So we responded to this professor. I'm happy the professor is here today. Professor Uduaghan. So we responded to him, took a full page apart, condemning the publication, condemning the reporter, and I think the matter died thereafter. A few years later, he came to give a guest lecture at the Kaduna program, and I was there and I listened to him. It was at that lecture we made up. Today is my commissioner for higher education. He responded like that because he was misinformed by a report. I just thought I should give that as a practical experience of some of the things we are going to discuss here today. From the program, I have about 30 or 40 minutes, so I'm going to abridge what I will say. Secondly, because this is about the media, I found it safer to document whatever you say, so that when somebody misquotes you, you have your paper to show. But because of the time, there are some aspects I might not read, I might just talk through them, knowing and hoping that nobody will misquote me. If you misquote me, I will also deny you. Having said that, our topic is media, democratic governance, and the challenges of national development. I will take the issues one by one in form of definition and explanation. First, the media. The media, or the mass media, represents an entire spectrum through which communication gets to society in high numbers, with some instantaneously, and the experience enjoyed across borders of tongues, beliefs, class, and clan about the same time, whether as individuals or as groups. The components of the mass media are newspapers, magazines, radio, television, films, theater, billboards, and the internet. The internet deserves special mention because of what it has become and the uses it has been put to. For instance, the events in the Arab world owe so much to the internet. The internet has a great place in the Tunisian revolt and agitations in other Arab countries. And back up in Nigeria, all the occupied places, occupied programs were made possible and aggravated through the internet. The internet, therefore, in a way, fits the proper definition of the mass media because the messages are available to everyone who can get access, no matter the time the person decides to become part of the media experience. Broader categorization of the media include the cinema and mass media messages through the cell phone or the SMS. In Nigeria, with more than 97 million mobile phone subscribers, a figure expected to top 128 million by 2014, the use of portable mobile telephone devices for mass messages is a different phase of mass communication, which is changing media consumption habits. Sometime towards the end of last year, one of our top persons in Delta died, and when I got in touch with somebody who was quite close to me, because I got information a few minutes after the death. He said, oh, they will not make the announcement yet until family meeting is held before they make the announcement. So I said, oh boy, if you don't make the announcement early, I assure you that in the next 1 hour, the whole internet will be full of that information. So we have moved from an era in which we used to say, okay, we can delay an information, to now an era in which we have to preempt mischievous elements on the internet by first of all bringing out the correct information. It's something, and I tell my officials, don't say, oh, I want to kill a story. In those days it was possible to kill a story in the media, but I don't think it's possible to kill any story now. You know, instead, attack the story, preempt whatever the internet will do with the story. Whether the powers of the media are stated or not, the fact is they are there, and the influence that media will through the various audiences that they reach is a strong demonstration of its power. From what I know, few media organizations appreciate this power. From what I know, few media organizations appreciate this power, do not appreciate this power better than the Chicago Tribune, one of America's foremost newspapers. Its credo drops hints about the enormous powers the media control. And what is that? It says, the newspaper is an institution developed by modern civilization to present the news of the day, to foster commerce and industry, to inform and lead public opinion, and to furnish that check upon government which no constitution has ever been able to provide. This from the Chicago Tribune period. This view is probably truer for the electronic media. Various Nigerian media organizations have their credos, which in many cases are not very different from the one put above. The summary is that many media organizations have promised to work for society's good and their own understanding of these goods. Please let me emphasize, their own understanding of these goods. The Nigerian media also has a constitutionally assigned role, which says the press, radio, television, and other agencies of the mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter and uphold the responsibility and accountability of the government to the people. This was Nigerian Constitution of 1999. At the same time, the role that the media created for themselves is called the agenda-setting role of the media. The expectation is that the media will selflessly look at issues that are important to society and focus attention on them with the intention of mobilizing resources to tackle the issues. The media apply this role to a broad spectrum of issues: social issues, sports, political, and economic. Now, we go to the second part, democratic governance. Perception plays a great role in the public appreciation of democratic governance. Where else does the public draw most of its perception but from the media? Democratic governance is a product of political and administrative processes that are rooted in giving practical wings to democracy, as popularly defined, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In our constitution, we have the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Interpretations of these obligations and others that the constitution dictates are partially responsible for ways the society risks democratic governance. But I also think there are other important reasons. We all see the world differently, and no one sees it completely. Early philosophers compared the human mind to a blank tablet on which impressions are imprinted. Today, we know that perception is not a passive state in which stimuli are received and automatically registered. On the contrary, perception is an active process in which you, as a perceiver, select, organize, and interpret what you experience. It's a quote of thought and not